Hi, everybody. Lord. Happy Saturday. Almost choked. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody had a blessed Saturday. Mine is pretty much over. I'm over here introverting. In for the night, no plans. So I thought I would do a video. And over this past season, past couple of months, I've had, thoughts and feelings surrounding this topic. And yesterday I was talking to my mom, who is my venting buddy, that when something's really bothering us or something is on our mind, we just let the rivers flow and we just vent. And if I had to sum up what we discussed, the topic was basically understanding the why, being trapped on the how. And I would first like to start off with, I think, I'm a spiritual person. And when I say spiritual, I mean just having that connection with my God, the creator, not necessarily being stuck on, being perfect. We all know what we need to be and what we need to do. And there's some sort of obedience that goes with that. But I think being in the world today, nobody's perfect, and it can be a struggle to truly surrender and take those steps because we're not perfect. But I think that each individual, whether it's you call them the creator, your God, whoever you believe in, or you just have spiritual practice, everybody has their own unique relationship. We don't pray the same, we don't worship the same, we don't praise the same. And I think that as you go spiritually, I think most people, or I can, speak for myself, there's a point when there's a shift. It's like your inner being, you know, speaks. And when I say a shift, I guess it can be described as an awakening, a consciousness. It's like something is stirred up in your life. And if you're not doing what you're meant to be doing, you feel dissatisfied. There's like a nasty taste in your mouth. And that dissatisfaction and feeling unfulfilled makes you want to go spiritually um, to try to figure that out. And I think in that state, where those questions come up, it's kind of like an identity crisis where you want to know the what's, the whys, and the how. What is my purpose? What am I called here to do? Um, what are my gifts? You want to know all of those questions. And I think, in a sense, most people know or have suppressed and know what their gifts are, and maybe they're just not aware, or don't necessarily, acknowledge them. But you want that conviction and that confirmation, because I think that sometimes we forget, being so like stuck in the world. But the way that I look at it, which is just my own perspective, I mean, other people may think differently, of course, but when you look at the big picture, I just feel like that the things that go on in this world on a daily basis, why you're actually here and what you're meant to bring, is far more than what we experience or we actually do on a daily basis. Now, trying to apply that concept is a whole different subject in its own struggle. But anyway, being in that state, that dissatisfaction, and only speaking for myself, it makes you want to grow spiritually to get in touch and try to figure out the answer to those questions, because you obviously don't know the answer. And I'm looking at my notes so I don't babble on, but I think once you start to grow spiritually, I mean, and not saying that you're perfect, I want to make that clear, like growing on a spiritual path, but grow spiritually, and your intuition comes into line. I think that that's a powerful thing. And once they connect, eventually you'll muster up the nerve to ask your creator, your God, you know those questions. And I think that when you ask those questions, you muster up the nerve. You must be prepared for the answer, because sometimes you're not ready. It's just too much, and God will really blow your edges off. And sometimes when He speaks, and when I say speaks, it took me a long time. And I still struggle with that, trying to figure out and confirm and being solid and validating that I know that he's speaking to me. But I think it could be various things, like thoughts that don't stop in your head, and it's the same thought and the same concept and the same idea that just doesn't go away, and it feels right, and there's a connection. How you feel emotionally, the people you keep coming across, that you're maybe meant to help, or it's the struggles and the obstacles that you have to keep going against that are around the same topic, that are clues, to what you're actually supposed to do. So once you keep experiencing those same things, because I don't feel like after a while, when you're aware and you're somewhat in tune and you're on that journey, things are just not a coincidence. Like I feel like everything happens for a reason. And sometimes when you're going through it, you lose that perspective and you lose that insight, because your human emotions set in and it's a struggle. But when you look back on it, or maybe past experiences, you can see how certain things are in alignment. So I don't feel like certain things are coincidence. They're meant to happen, um, for a purpose. So once you're validated in what is said and what feels right and what you feel like you should do, aligning with your gifts, and the purpose and the calling, um, then I feel like it's expected of you to believe and move. And that's where I was venting to my mom, the struggle of believing and moving, because I think, you know, people are so quick to say, have faith or believe, you know, um, but I don't think it's a snap of the fingers. It takes a lot to like believe, and people to tell you just to believe, but they don't tell you how to believe. And that's, I guess, your own journey, as far as getting to that point. But when he speaks to you, and you have that conviction, and sometimes he gives you the answer, and you feel like it's right on what path you should take or what things you want to accomplish, and you have these visions and you have these dreams, sometimes they can be big where you get stuck on the how. Like, this is the state that I'm in now. These are the things that I feel like you're telling me that I should do. But whether it's out of fear, I don't feel like I can do it. There's a gap between where I am now to jumping over that gap to actually fulfilling your promises. Um, and I think that there are probably a lot of people out there, that are struggling with that. And I thought that it was important just to speak that, I've come to the conclusion that because people just tell you just to believe and don't tell you how, that's his own path and his own journey, where you become so solid and so engulfed in your conviction that, through the battle, because I feel like, it is a battle, because you're still dealing with life and you still have your ups and your downs, that eventually that you will get to that point if you just hold on and stick to it. And this is me venting to myself and encouraging myself as well, in hopes that it'll help somebody else. But just sticking with this, sticking with the path through the ups, through the downs, that you'll jump over and you'll get to what he promised you, or what you feel like you were convicted in, and actually fulfill it. Now, how long it's going to take, that's a whole different, subject. But just the fact that, you have that glimpse of a hope, that you're jumping into, what you're supposed to do, and just being proud of yourself for, taking some type of action towards what you feel is right. So, I think that if you clearly understand the why, you know, whatever that intention is, whatever that promise is, why you're supposed to do it, is it going to serve somebody else? Is it supposed to change the world? Like, what need does it fulfill? And if you come convicted and clear on the why, um, then just stay encouraged that eventually you'll have the nerve and have, the belief and have the strength to get through the battles of the how, to actually fulfill, what you feel like you're meant to do. So, of course, when I talk to my mom, we were on the phone for like 90 minutes, but this is just to sum up to keep people encouraged because there's a lot of gaps in life and people just tell you to do stuff, but they don't tell you the how. And yes, as an adult, we figure out our own way, but it is encouraging when you know that people also hit those roadblocks, that they hit those gaps. And it's also inspiring to see other people, that jump over from the why to the how and then actually, fulfill and achieve and do what they're supposed to do. So, um, I hope this helped somebody. It always helps me to regurgitate and let out my feelings, but I think it's important that we all share the struggles of what's going on and be truthful. So, y'all have a blessed rest of your night and happy Sunday. Bye.